Mm-hmm.
There's nothing you can do about that situation because that's the way it is.
Okay.
So if you start, being in pain because of that, there's nothing to gain from that situation. Nothing. Because if you're in resistance with the things that have already manifested into reality, the only thing you're going to do is keep you in a super painful place and kind of perpetuate the things that you're scared of. Like, for example, not being good enough to get that job. And you're going to perpetuate that into your reality. Or, for example, another one. Um, you have I don't know, you have a partner and he's not behaving the way you'd want him to,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in resistance to that. And you call up your friend and you're like, can you believe what he said? He's like such an idiot, and I can't believe what he did. And what you're doing with that, because people are misled, they're misguided, and they think that if something happens, it's their duty to kind of, be tell the world that that's not who they are. I'm
Oh,
much better than that,
right.
to kind of how do you say, dissociate, to
Almost
kind
like
of
saying,
say,
"Hey, it's not my fault. It's not my fault," kind of a
yeah, to
thing.
kind of saying it's
This,
terrible what he's doing,
yeah. Okay.
to kind of say like, okay, that's what he's doing and I think it's awful. And people think by doing that you kind of you put yourself on the good side and the other person is on the bad side, but you need to point your finger and you need to point out what's going wrong in order to be
Mm-hmm.
the good cop, so
Okay.
the other one can be the bad cop. So what but that's a huge misconception, because what you're doing, if you like keep on talking about it, if you keep on talking your friends about it, blogging about it,
Over and
over
over
and
and
over and over
over
again,
and over.
what you're doing is you're keeping yourself in that vibrational place. You're just, perpetuating that vibration in your field. And you're re-traumatizing yourself over and over again. So by talking about what's going wrong, and I don't get me wrong, because I know, a lot of your followers are, very acquainted with like narcissistic topics and everything. So, of course, there are times where you need someone to just talk it over and just, to get the pressure off, or just, tell like a dear friend, what's been going on. But be super careful with that and mindful. Like,
Mm-hmm.
tell one person. And don't go and tell it like 328 times to like different people and over again, and write in your journal and, post a video and over again, because what you're doing is you're hurting yourself.
To move away from being a person who stays stuck in a constant cycle of holding on to that situation
Yes.
that someone let us down. We're not talking about, as I personally know for a fact, so many
Yeah.
of my family members and close friends have died.
Yeah.
As one of my friends told me, it's like, man, your circle is like whoever's in it is dying. So death can have its grief. That's not the
Yes.
direction we're per se discussing here.
No.
But when it comes to, let's say, a situation of turmoil, I'm going to use
Mm.
your word again, a toxic
Hmm.
situation, narcissistic abusive situation.
Yes.
There are stages to everything. There's a stage when you're going to put a recipe together. There's
Hmm.
stages when you're going to paint a house. There's stages in everything when you're going to construct something or recover from something. But
Hmm.
what you're saying, I wanted us to have this discussion because many of my viewers are at a certain stage that you're talking about right now. So this may not apply to someone else who may hear it and consider it to be something, the common term people say, and I got this from Sam Vaknin, victim blaming, victim shaming. He even mentioned to me, hey, I'm gonna mention something. Hey, just mention whatever you're gonna mention. And he said something very similar to what you said, Professor
Hmm.
Sam Vaknin. You have to step out of that state in
Yes.
order to regain your power and what you're saying, that
Yes.
energy that can be beneficial to others. And
Exactly.
you may not be at that state to do that, but
Yeah.
there are those who need to hear what Deborah is indeed saying right now is they're ready to make that shift to another phase. And that phase being they let that person go and left that situation or that turmoil. let that turmoil
Yes.
go. I hope that makes
Yes.
some clarity for some, but mainly for those who
Yeah.
wanted to have you talk about this, because this is where they are. They want to
Mm-hmm.
stop resisting what is, and they want to
Yes.
see it for what it is, and they want to pick up and they want to dust themselves off, and they want to
Yes.
keep moving.
In these types of situations, and I see that time and time again with my clients, they're looking for a solution on like the ground floor. They're looking for solutions in the 3D world, what's going on around them. But what's happening is, if you let yourself wrestle the alligator in the swamp, you have no chance whatsoever. You hold no chance.
Yeah.
So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to like find other ways and to pull yourself out of that situation. And that starts by stopping the reactiveness. Just do not react to what's going on. Just do not react. And then you start being mindful with yourself, and you start just realizing that if I'm ready to like step out of this, and just step out of like the merry-go-round, and just not play anymore,
Yeah.
then you're going to be in a completely different place very quickly.
Yeah. Take your toys and go to a different sandbox.
Yes.
That can be quite difficult for many who watch these shows and our guests.
Hmm.
And our guests often tell me in a pre-show, or I know how you do your Instagram page. Many explain to me. Many of my guests throughout the past couple of years, they're very focused on recovery and moving
Hmm.
forward.
Yes.
The majority of my guests are not about um, bashing whoever did them wrong and staying in that tone or that
Hmm.
angry tone. And so, therefore, your words are going to hit the people who told me they wanted you to talk about this,
Hmm.
because they needed that pep talk, that they're going in
Yes.
the right direction. Because you just said something that I guess we can kind of, I personally will run with. You said, just stop playing, as it were. You're not reacting. Again, I'm going to say this, that Professor Sam Vaknin, who was on the show last year, that was one of the things he highlighted. Just stop reacting to that
Yes.
turmoil.
Yes.
That's the first step to
Yes.
actually recognizing what's really happening. Someone needs your reaction. And when we resist that and get caught up in the drama, then you're saying then we're really resisting what really is. We're trying to make something happen when the other person doesn't really want it to happen.
Um,
Correct
yes,
me.
in some way.
Correct
No,
me.
yes,
I'm
and
not. I'm not a coach. You.
mm, it's a if you're in a situation where there's like narcissistic energy, it's very difficult to like go into communication because there's just a lack of compassion, and there's a lack of empathy and being able
Respect. A lack of
to
respect.
connect to connect with that person as well. So because the walls are just too high, and it's there's no reaching that person. So if you've noticed that you're in this sort of situation and you really want to take yourself out of it,
Mhm.
then what you need to do is just train yourself to not fall into the drama, to not fall into reactiveness, to not reply, response, fight back, explain yourself, argument. It's not about like finding. It's not about persuading anyone, because you're not going to be able to. It's impossible. So you just stay in your lane, be mindful to yourself, try to be really true to yourself, and just try to take yourself out of the situation.
When you find yourself in circumstances, situations where you're dealing with individuals, and they're choosing to not have peace with you, they're choosing to disrespect you. What are some of the top things you try to keep in mind when you're dealing with challenging situations?
Okay, challenge, that hardly ever happens to me now, as I have no one disrespecting me really.
I
But
love that. I love your
yeah,
answer. Okay, go ahead. I love it.
It
Go.
just doesn't. But it has a lot to do with like energetic, clarity. If you're really clear about, for me, I have this concept where I know no one is allowed to have impact on the way I feel.
Oh, okay,
You
I
can
love
say
that.
whatever
I'm sorry. I
you.
love that. Please, you are at this point. What? Say that, please, again. That was beautiful.
I said I allow no one the privilege to have an impact on the way that I feel. If someone's gonna tell me, "Oh, I love your eyes, you're really beautiful," whatever, I'm like, "Thank you,
Hmm.
I thank you." But then if someone says you're super ugly, I hate your eyes, okay, it's not going to do anything like on top to me because people have the right to think whatever the hell they want to think,
Hmm.
and they can speak their truth. Then of course I'm going to decide, if I want to hang out with them, yes or
Right.
no. But
Am I gonna let that in, or is that just gonna okay? It just stays on the outside.
yes, and by default, I'm not letting it in. If I'm with someone I really like and I enjoy and I have a good
Hmm.
vibe with that person, of course I'm going to allow their energy, to mend with mine, and we're going to have, a good conversation, and it's
Hmm.
going to be like a give and a take kind of flow. But in general, I think it's like it's like an evolved form of slavery if you allow people to make you
Yeah.
sad, to
Yeah.
make you angry. You can say to me whatever you want. I'm not going to be mad at you. It's not going to make me angry or mad or frustrated. I'm just going to acknowledge it. Okay. Okay. And move
Okay.
on.
Because we are where we are in this discussion, and I put together what the viewers wanted to have you talk about. Here's something along the lines of what we were just discussing. I'm going to put up on the screen here
Yes.
that, well, it wasn't number one that they wanted to hear. We already did that. But it was number three. I just moved it down the list and saving it till now. And here we go.
Yes. Your
They
addiction
wanted
to
to hear you
drama
talk
is
about this.
breaking your heart. Yes. I
Okay,
I
now,
love that.
well, let me give you a little bit before you get started.
Mhm.
This was number three that they wanted to hear you talk about. I moved it down the list some, and we talked about other things. This
Mhm.
was something people wanted to hear you talk about because of the. This is comments back because of the way you explain everything and the way you speak. They wanted you to talk about it because a
Aw.
lot of people can take this and get insulted.
Mhm.
We wanted you to talk about it because it can prove to be encouraging to those
Yes.
who are at a certain stage of their recovery. They are
Mhm.
in full agreement with this posting. Your
Yes.
addiction to drama is breaking your heart. Go
Okay.
right ahead.
I'm so glad you just said some people might get insulted, because for all of your viewers that don't know me, this is a space of like non-judgmental.
Yeah,
You can hit me with
I understand.
whatever
Yeah.
topic is going on, and I'm never going to judge anything. And most of the things that I put up on Instagram, I kind of know myself because I've either been there or I have like a close connection to it. So never ever am I, even if it sounds a little harsh sometimes, I'm always saying it in like a humorous but also loving way, even if it
Yes.
sounds like a hit at first.
Yes.
And you're
By the way, some really good hip hop music. But go ahead.
Yay!
Some
I
really good
know.
stylish songs. Let me put it that way. But
I'm
anyhow, go ahead.
so into that. I'm so into that. So what
Yes, you are.
happens is that's like neurologically, you you have you have become addicted to some of the neurological cocktail of hormones that are like flowing through your body. So, if, for example, you have a situation where you get really aggravated, like every time you're in traffic, you're like, oh, what is going on? And you're really upset about it, then you might think you don't like the situation, but your body is actually addicted to what's going on a hormone level, because you're so used to, um, you know getting upset, getting mad at your coworker, your boss, your mother-in-law, whatever the case may be, and that you have like a cortisol hormones that go way up in that moment, and your body gets addicted to that feeling. So even if you've understood, okay, it's really strange that I get mad every time my children, I don't know, take their time in the morning and I'm running late, and why am I getting so mad? But it's kind of you've given over the control. You've just given over the controller of your own reaction to your hormones. So your body is kind of taking over and you have no idea what's going on. So maybe every single time someone says something to you, it makes you super sad, but your body has gotten used to the sadness and you're addicted to it without knowing it. So you're manifesting situation after situation in your life where you're going to be sad like that just because your body has gotten used to it. Or for example, if you, yeah.
So I'm gonna use me as an example. So
Oh.
I will create scenarios and situations where I can get that hit of emotion that I'm looking for. If it's sadness, if it's anger, if it's I get to yell, and maybe that's the release that I want. I will create scenarios in which that constant conflict, drama, turmoil, I will be crushing tranquility simply because I'm chemically addicted to the ups and downs of drama.
Yes, precisely.
Wow.
Precisely. And that takes away so much of your energy. And that's going to lead to, bad sleep. That's going to lead to being aggravated and on the edge all the time and not concentrated and not, centered. And just because you're walking around your day and you're reinventing the same day that you lived yesterday because of that addiction. We have every single day, we think up to like 70 or 80,000 thoughts every single day. And 90% of these thoughts are the same as yesterday. About 85%, a little less than that, are negative.
Right.
So what you're doing is you're thinking the same thoughts, you're creating the same emotions, you're reconstructing the same drama, and your tomorrow is going to resemble your yesterday a lot. It's going to be exactly the same.
Okay.
So if you want to like snap out of that situation, if you just want to take yourself out of it, what you need to do is become super conscious of what's going on. Just observe yourself. And for example, if there are situations where you get aggravated, like for example with the children's in the morning, I think that's a really good example because a lot of people who are watching you probably can like relate to that.
They can relate to that.
Yeah. So when you see, okay, we have like 7 more minutes and then I have to be out the door and, the kids haven't brushed their teeth and it's like highly unrealistic that this is going to happen. And you start feeling it, like your blood starts pumping here, or maybe you like start getting nervous. Just notice. And that's the first step. Maybe you'll still like have a fit. Maybe you'll still like, maybe you'll still like lose control of something, but you've noticed. That's a step in the right direction.
And
the next time,
tomorrow will be, go ahead, next time, tomorrow will be better. Go ahead.
Tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow, perhaps you'll notice, and then you kind of be able to prolong that space in between noticing and snapping. And then the day after, you might say like, oh, I really want to tell them, like, I really want to tell them now, but I'm not going to. And that's a huge win.
Well, that's a choice.
And then
that's a choice to cut off the old pattern by saying, "Hey, I'm not going to. I'm not going to."
It's a choice.
In a different direction.
It is a choice, but as well, it's a little bit harsh to say that because if you're addicted to your drama, and everyone who's been through a drug addiction or something knows it's not really your choice because got to do it. You need that hit, you need it, and it's unconscious. So step number 1, like in our scenario that we spoke about before, is becoming conscious. Consciousness is everything. That's why my name is Conscious Life Creation. That's my slogan, because you want to become more and more conscious about what's going on. not judging yourself. Oh, I'm a bad mom, I'm going to
Yeah.
scream at
Yeah.
them or whatever. So, no, be
Mm,
cool with yourself. This is something that really aggravates me. Where do I feel it? And just, don't be judgmental. And then, like, okay, today I'm going to try not to do it. And then just be cool with yourself and just like slowly get yourself conscious and out of your mechanisms.
so it's kind of like telling the children. I don't have this scenario anymore because all
Hmm.
my children are grown, all three of them. But what I was going to say, so the scenario is literally telling the little children, tomorrow morning I want you to wake up late. I want you to be running late because I need to test something out about my emotions to see whether I will snap. And they'll probably won't do it. They'll probably get up and be ready to go. So they'll probably do the opposite and just totally. If you tell them to be late, they'll probably just no. That's not gonna work.
Nah,
Don't
you're
mind.
not
Don't
gonna.
mind
No,
me.
no,
Don't mind
no,
me.
no. Forget everything you said. It was like a lot of like untruth in a.
All I'm saying is, if we try
No,
to little reverse, maybe they'll just be on time.
no, no.
No, it's not
That's
gonna work.
that's not what you do. But what you can do is
You don't let them stay up
just
till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, then tell them, okay, we can be late
well,
this
if
way.
you're super conscious about that, I had a list. It's like a PDF, but in German, and it's about relaxed morning with children.
Really?
How to, yeah,
Oh,
and I
okay.
sent that out to my clients and to people who like reached out to me on
Okay.
Instagram, and what it says was just get yourself like ready so you can focus on them. Wake them up 10 minutes early. Have everything you need for yourself done beforehand.
Yeah.
Like the lunch boxes
That's
are
that's
done.
true.
The bottles are done. The bags are like at the front
Mm-hmm.
door waiting to leave. You've done your yoga, your workout, you've done whatever you need to be cool, you've
Done.
done,
Ready to go.
taken care of. And when you wake them up, then you're calmness in person. You're super calm. And you can
Really.
just, focus on them. Can I help you? Do you need my assistance? Can I support you with something? Is there anything? So it's like yeah,
Yeah.
no
Uh,
problem.
I see the possibility of a time lapse video coming from you, of your own personal experience, where you set up a camera and you just let all of it play out and you put it time lapsed and showing you do that. That would actually be a very interesting video. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
You're not gonna
that's
you're
kind
not
of
gonna
what
do
I'm
it.
doing in my stories
Yeah.
at the moment, every single day. I'm putting way too much stories up there, but yeah, that's kind
Talking
of what
about your
I've been
personal
doing.
life. Okay, now
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a few things out to you, and then I got something to put on the screen that is going to end our show, per se.
Hmm.
But here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna ask you this. You had a posting that said was concerning we are the biggest flex or something of that nature. Do you remember that?
You are being you is your biggest flex. That was it, wasn't it?
Yes,
Something
yes, it
like that.
was.
Yeah.
Can you use that? This is almost like a game show now. I'm going to turn this show is turning into a game show the rest of the way out. Trust me. You wait till you hear what I'm going to ask you. So first, we're going to start off with this. That posting, if you were going to write a letter to someone to be encouraging and using that posting, what are some of the things you would put in the letter to encourage someone, as in this case, encourage the viewers that will see this, about being their own biggest flex per se? What would you say
Yes.
in that letter?
No, I'd say lovely. Um, be you. Everyone else is already taken. Be beautiful. Just shine. Play with it. Be playful. Be passionate about life. Be courageous. Be vulnerable. Just go for it. Dance like no one's watching. Stay longer. Run faster. I just tell them, you know, um, I think the bottom line is it's safe to be you. It just is. It's safe to be you, so go for it. And it's what makes you unique. It's what makes you not comparable to anyone else. And I'm a spiritual person. I know there's only like so much spirituality people can take in like 1 hour, but I'm still gonna say it.
Go ahead.
Um,
No, go ahead.
if you came to this world, if you incarnated on this world, There's a reason for that. Because your constellation of everything, of your molecules, of the way you are, of your energy, of everything, your DNA, is so unique. And you didn't come here to hide who you are. And the reason you came here is to shine and to glow and to, bring that light out into the world. And the more you can connect to yourself on a deep level, the deeper you're going to be able to connect with other people. You can only meet people at the level you've met yourself. So if you allow yourself to be pure and to be authentic and to be who you came here to be, and just, act as if all of this was like a game, and just be playful with it. And I just encourage people to know that the one thing they've been scared of, showing their own craziness, their soft side, their tough side, their hip hop side, their whatever side.
Now we get into something right now. I'm going to talk about craziness. Okay, so I'm going to change the show for a second. What is the craziest thing, Deborah, that you have done in the past 36 hours? What is the craziest thing? That is, I've just literally just made that question up. What is the craziest? Oh, we'll throw the word playful.
As if I was going to answer that in 1,000,000 years. What are you?
It's a family show. Pick something other than what you're thinking. What is the craziest thing and playful thing that you've done in the past 36 hours, Deborah?
What have I done? You're like, for example, yesterday I had so many things to do yesterday evening, and I had like a bunch of stuff I could have done, and I was like looking at my clock, and it was like 4:30 in the afternoon, and I was like, oh, the sun is shining, it's so beautiful, I'm just gonna like not do anything and just not care. And I put on my workout attire. I went to work out.
Getting good. I don't know where go ahead.
I went to my workout, and then I loved it. And then I said, like, I'm just going to do my stuff later. When I come back, I can do that. And then while I was at my workout, a friend of mine texted me, you want to go out like for dinner and drink? I'm like, yeah, why not? So that was kind of crazy, because usually I would have probably said like, no, I have stuff to do and everything.
Really?
But
You would have said, no, I've got stuff to do.
Yeah, because I'm disciplined like that.
Yeah, you're very disciplined. However, you stopped resisting what it was, and you decided to do something different. I don't know. I just made that up. Okay, here we go. All right, now I've got to get into these. Well, you passed that round. Let's go to the next round. The final round. Here we go. I hope you're ready for this. I'm going to put something up on the screen. It is the very. Let's see here. Where are we at here? Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, so here we go. Bam. Magnetic. Now you just gotta. Here we go. You gotta listen to what I'm gonna say here. Here we go. Magnetic is a word that you use.
Mm-hmm.
What does the word? There are 4 questions that I'm going to ask you. Here's the first one. Yes. What is the word magnetic? As simple and as concise and succinct as you can be. What does the word magnetic mean to you?
Yeah, I love that question. Everything is about magnetism. We live on a globe that's a magnet in itself, and yes. we resonate with attraction, with we want to like pull the things into our lives that we want, that we crave, that we desire, and we have the ability to become super magnetic. And we become magnetic when we move from our mind into our heart, because the heart is actually a magnet. So when we speak from our heart, when we connect to people on a personal level, when we stop, get out of your mind and like stop just doing copy and paste stuff, but just really say what you want to say from your heart. That's the moment where you connect with others and where you become magnetic for what you want. So my name is Pure Magnetic. And pure is really important. It's a really important part of it as well, because a lot of the times we want things, but then we send out contradictory messages into the universe. Like, for example, we'll say, I really want that job, but I'm not that good, so we'll be like, you're screwing with your wish. So what you need to do is you need to become super pure. And if you're pure in your wishes and your desires, and you know that what you want wants you, what you're searching is searching you, what you desire in your life, it's always, always two ends of the stick. So wishes and dreams and desires are actually, they want you as well. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that desire. So if you become super pure in what you want and pure in your language, in the talk that you talk towards yourself, for example, in your self-talk, and you become, you just become pure in everything you want in your life, then you start coming into your heart and becoming magnetic for all of your wishes and desires.
You have just talked about being magnetic, what magnetic means to you and being magnetic. Here we go. You have three more. Here's the second one. What qualities do you find magnetic in others?
Authenticity,
Okay.
vulnerability,
All right.
strength,
Okay.
and kindness.
Those, no doubt.
I
Make
have more.
well. That's four. You
Sorry,
have
I just
more.
came up
No,
with
no. You
more.
know what? Nope.
No,
Hey, we do what we want. This is
yeah.
free TV. Go right ahead.
No,
This is
you know
broadcast
what?
all over the world. So go ahead. That's
These
four.
four came out for a reason. So it's these four. But for
Okay.
example, me, if I'm like my authentic Debbie, I really find it super magnetic when people have like a really good taste in music. I love that. And I love when people are funny. I just love, people with a good sense of humor.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in here, and there's a reason why. Is because question number three is, now you gave us four. What were the four again? I asked you the question, what qualities do you find magnetic in others? You mentioned four of them. One
Hmm.
was authentic. What were the other three?
Well, authenticity was one, strength,
Kindness,
kindness, and what was the
vulnerability.
vulnerability?
Okay,
Exactly.
now here we
Yeah.
go. Number three. I hope you're ready for this. They get worse as I go on. You got two more to go here. So here we go. Um, what first of all, only one of these is my question. Okay, three of them were from somebody from viewers. Okay, one is mine, and that'll be the last one. But here we go. Number three. What is there about you that others will find magnetic?
Probably the exact four things that I just said, because it's not, I'm really into this embodiment thing. I don't just talk, I walk my talk. And so I've been through some things in my personal life as well, which have made me strong and vulnerable at the same time. And
Yeah.
I really honor these things about me. And um, so,
And we have never talked about them on the show.
no, no,
Isn't
why
that
would
kind of
we?
interesting? I
Why
know
would we?
that's what I find.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do that. I'm sorry. I apologize. Please keep going. I was
Sure.
going to talk about some magnetic things about you that I like, but go ahead.
I remember in the first show, like in the preparation part of it, you said like and that kind of stuck to me because I was like, that is the worst compliment I have gotten in my complete life. You told me it's so easy to talk to you. You're like bacon. I'm like, what the
Why
hell?
do you even bring that up? People don't need to know what I said.
I love
I'm
that.
going
That
to go
was
like
so
that was the dumbest compliment, weirdest
No,
thing
that
any
was
man could ever
so
tell me.
genuine, and I took it the right way. But in that moment, I was like, okay, you're my friend. You're my friend. Yeah. So
It's the only thing I
that's
can think of in the moment.
the things that I really appreciate in others. I try to bring to the table myself
Right.
because
Yes, you do.
that's the way it works. So I always try, even if I'm in like a situation of conflict and adversity, I try to let kindness rule because people are always operating at the best they can from the place they're standing in their consciousness
Mhm.
they're in. So, and I know that. So really knowing that on a deep level, not only here but here,
Mhm.
makes me want to be kind no matter what.
So kindness proves to be something that others can be drawn to. It can prove to be magnetic about you,
Say
as
that
well as
again. I didn't.
so your kindness
Mhm.
can be magnetic to others. It can draw people to you. They will see that about you, that you're kind. It's a very magnetic quality that you have. So that means that you also have the quality of being vulnerable. What do you mean? This is not the fourth question. What do you mean when you look at the quality, the asset of being vulnerable as something magnetic? What does the word vulnerable mean to you, my friend?
Well, vulnerability is like one of the main superpowers worldwide. Brene Brown has a TED talk on it. I don't know if you've seen it. It has like
No, I
something
haven't.
like 80 million watches or something. And if you if you become so confident in yourself and so self-assured that you're perfect the way that you are, and there's nothing to hide because nothing can really, nothing can shake you, then you start allowing yourself to be vulnerable and to actually showing yourself and to talk about your struggles and to, for me, especially for me, because I'm in coaching and mentoring, so the more vulnerable I am with my things, the more I open up the space and I hold space for people in my surroundings to be vulnerable themselves. So for me, it's a really important thing to because people will always like admire you for your strength, but they will always connect to your vulnerability. So if they see that there's a human behind all that,
Mm-hmm.
outer yeah, like strength and discipline, and things are going really well, but then if you say like, no, this is something I'm struggling with, and you just talk about it, then that's what make people connect to you on a heart level.
Well, when I do a show with you, I always know that I have very little to do because whatever I'm thinking to say, you say it, and then I just get to sit here and go.
Awesome.
And you're saying a number of things that I was thinking, and I'm glad that you did it. Now I need two things to happen, and I'm hoping that one of them you will do twice, and that will
Oh,
make sense. And I won't bring up bacon again, but you are the pop sizzle
yeah,
bacon of
you
of
know
emotional wellness. You are the bacon of emotional wellness. But go ahead. What were you gonna say? No,
I
before I
was
ask the
gonna
question.
say, Paxton, I am so super smooth that I said the bacon thing because that was not the worst thing you said to me.
Oh my goodness! No, no, wait, no. Now you got to say it. Go ahead, say it. What was the worst thing I said to? What was the worst thing that I said to you then?
Well, we had that Zoom call, and you kind of wanted to check out if I was, fit to come on your show, yes or
Oh no!
no.
Oh
And
my goodness! The way you say that, it sounds like grueling. Now everybody else is going to be scared. They're gonna shy away from coming on the show. But
no,
go ahead.
I was fine with that. I was like, okay, you're gonna check me out, but I'm definitely gonna check you
Oh
out
no,
if I'm,
I
if
definitely
you're
felt
cool
that
enough to
too. But
have me on your show.
go ahead.
And then
Yeah.
he said like, okay, so how was your day? And I started talking, and I started like telling you something, and you were listening, and you were like just like listening the whole time, and then you.
For
I
2 hours.
stopped.
For
I
two
was
hours. I think we talked
no,
for
no,
about
no,
two
no, no.
hours.
It was like 8 or 9 minutes or something, and then
Yes,
I
it
stopped
was too long.
talking.
You
Yeah,
was like,
I
yeah, it was.
stopped talking, and there was like a short silence, and then you said like, this is really interesting because I'm thoroughly uninterested in every single word you just said, and I loved listening to you. That was amazing. And I was, and I
That's
took it
me.
like,
I'm sorry. That's
I
just
took
me.
it as such a compliment because if you're with people that you have a good vibe with, it just doesn't matter what they're talking about. You just
No,
enjoy it. And
and that's what stuck out when we were talking. Well, when I was listening, when you were talking, it was like that has nothing to do with anything that I need to accomplish right now. But there's no way I'm interrupting her because that really sounds interesting to her. And I just wanted to. I was
oh,
vibing. Oh, I was whatever you want to call it. I was listening to. I was going like, this is really cool. We could do all of this was running through my head. I could do a show with her, and I don't have to do anything. I just have to say put stuff on the screen, and she'll do. But what you were
awesome.
saying was informative. You weren't just talking, which wouldn't have been a problem as well either for me personally. But you were informing me of what your day was and how you went about it, but more importantly to me, how you felt about your day. And that part, the felt about the day, I don't even think you were catching that part. And that's the part for me personally, in the way I was raised by my caregivers, my parents. That's the part that I thrive for. I want to hear about how you felt about your day.
Oh,
You could tell me, and you were getting into that, and then you go back and you start talking to that, and then you go back to that. And I was sitting there going like, this is pretty cool. Keep going. And then I just had to tell you the truth. I'm going to lie to you and go like, oh, that was so interesting, because I can't do it.
yeah,
I'm a horrible liar. People think
yeah,
I
yeah,
call me
yeah.
lying. And it was like, I remember, yeah, that's right. I
No,
texted you.
because it was, and you don't remember 100% correctly, because I wasn't telling you so much about my day, but I was telling you about like neuroscience stuff that I
Neuroscience,
was
yes, you were,
that I
but you
was
were
really
interweaving
into.
your
And
day per se.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was, and
yeah.
that was just, and I just took it the way I heard Dr. Michael Beckwith say something that I just loved, and I've been saying the same thing, because if you're in a room with someone who's on a good vibrational kind of level, then he could be reading the yellow pages to you, and you'd just be
That's right.
enjoying the hell out of
That's
it,
absolutely. That's
and I love that, because that's the way
Why
I
is
feel
that?
around people.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you. I've never
Yeah.
asked anybody. I'm asking you for the first time. Why is that?
Because everything's energy, everything
Okay.
is, and the words are just like a transmitter, and
Mhm,
are just like a bridge, but what really matters is the energy. So we could have been talking like 10% of the words we have been talking, but the energy still
mhm. That's
comes
true.
over,
That's
comes
true.
across.
Okay, now I'm going to torture you with question number 4, but I told you
Okay.
there are two things that I'm going to highlight, question number 4 and something else, but I'm hoping the next thing that I'm going to ask you, you will do it twice. Okay, so here we go. My question for you. The other three
Hmm.
were from viewers of all the
Yes.
previous shows. This question is, what do you see and appreciate that is magnetic in your children? What do
No,
you see and appreciate that is magnetic in your three beautiful children?
their simple being. Really, honestly, that question could make me cry, because just them being who they are, just that their hearts are beating, just that they're pure, and that they're so magnificent, and that, I mean, all three of them, and they're so different. They every one of them has like their own amazing traits and characters, and they're so funny, and they're so strong, and they're so sweet. I just love them so much. But yeah, I love them for just being themselves.
I want you to do me a favor. What the
Hmm.
viewers said that they loved, and I told you this earlier, was the way you start your videos. Can you just twice, just 2 times? That's all I'm asking. Just 2 times. Just say hi to me. say
Hello, hello.
I am so gonna try to record that. Say it one more time. Come on, say it one more time.
No, Pax, you're pushing it. You're pushing it, my friend. I did it once because I
Okay,
know
so
this is Hollywood
how do you
and
say
everything,
goodbye?
but
How do you say goodbye then?
take care.
Oh man, that's it. Oh
That's it.
Lord, man.
That's it.
Okay,
See you next
okay.
time. See you around. Have a
All right,
beautiful day. I do this in my
all
videos.
right. Yeah, yes, actually you do. That's now I think
Yeah,
about it. You do that. All right,
I
look,
do.
we appreciate it greatly that you have been here and let me torture you. You should go and enjoy the rest of your day. You have made an impact on a number of people who will watch this. This is up 24/7. People come back and watch it on their lunch breaks. Thank you, Deborah, so much. I appreciate it greatly. Let's do this right here so we can get in here like that. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Any last words of advice for those who don't know you and you want to direct them to your Instagram page? Some words of advice that they need to keep in mind if they want to talk with you or get a one-on-one session with you.
Yeah, I would love your people, your audience to connect with me. That would be so awesome. And it's always such a pleasure to talk to you and to be on your show. I
Oh, I
just
appreciate
I
it.
just love it. I'm always super excited. It's like talking to an old friend now.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, not that
Like,
you're old, but only because we've known
no, it's
each
too
other for
late.
so
No,
long.
it's too late. It's too late. You're just trying to
No,
make up for the bacon comment I did. What else?
yeah, exactly. No, 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 no. But so what would I want to say? It's not an advice, but it's just this life is such a gift. and we have this one life, and we have this one shot at it, and we have nothing to lose. And I just want people to know that no matter what they're going through, and no matter what the situation might be at the moment, there's always the possibility to find relief. And it really matters how they feel, and if they can just focus on what they want to achieve, what they want to create for their world, in
Mm-hmm.
what place they want to be in, and just focus on feeling good and finding relief in the situation that they're in. And even if it's a little tiny baby step, then yeah, that's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, you said a few things there that made me think of something. Just hold on a second here. I'm going to end the show in a way I've never done. You made me think of this song. You put up with me this morning because we started an hour earlier than I told the world, the entire YouTube, that we were going to start, and that was my fault. And you have just been excellent. You have been the crispest and the most beautifully well cooked bacon that the planet has ever seen. I am such a knucklehead. Anyhow, I am thoroughly excited to do this show with you. I am going to put something up on the screen. We are not going anywhere. We're just going to talk